The real horror of Aztec sacrifice was not simply the act itself, but the powerful world of belief, fear, and devotion that surrounded it. In the heart of the mighty Aztec capital, Tenochtitlan, towering above the crowded marketplaces and canals, stood the great temple known as the Templo Mayor. To the Aztecs, this was not a place of cruelty, but a sacred center of the universe. They believed their gods had sacrificed themselves to create the world, and in return, humans owed a debt of blood to keep the cosmos alive. Without these offerings, they feared the sun would not rise, the rains would not fall, and darkness would consume everything. At the center of this belief was the powerful sun god Huitzilopochtli. According to Aztec mythology, he battled the forces of darkness each night. Human hearts and blood were seen as sacred nourishment that gave him the strength to defeat those forces and bring the dawn. The rituals were often public, performed atop pyramids before large crowds. Captives taken in war were considered especially valuable offerings. To the warriors who captured them, this was a matter of honor and duty, proof of bravery in battle. To the priests, it was a sacred responsibility. To the people watching below, it was both terrifying and holy. Yet the true horror lies deeper than the ritual itself. It was woven into a society where religion and survival were inseparable. Children grew up hearing that the universe had already been destroyed 4 times before, and that they were living in the fragile 5th sun. If the gods were not satisfied, this age too would end in catastrophe. Imagine living every day believing that the sun in the sky depended on human sacrifice. Fear was not just personal, it was cosmic. The stakes were nothing less than the survival of the world. For those chosen as sacrifices, the experience must have been overwhelming. Some were prisoners of war from rival city-states, others were selected for specific ceremonies. Certain rituals even treated the chosen individual as a living embodiment of a god for months before the final ceremony. They were dressed in fine clothing, honored and celebrated, yet everyone knew how the story would end. This mixture of reverence and inevitability created a chilling contrast between glory and doom. When the Spanish conquistadors, led by Hernán Cortés, arrived in 1519, they were shocked and horrified by what they witnessed. Accounts written by Spanish chroniclers describe ceremonies atop the temples and skull racks displaying the remains of the sacrificed. These reports fueled European views of the Aztecs as savages and justified conquest in the eyes of the invaders. However, historians today remind us that many civilizations across the world practiced forms of ritual sacrifice. What made the Aztec case striking was its scale and its deep integration into state religion and political power. The real horror, then, is not a simple story of cruelty. It is the story of how belief can shape an entire civilization. It is about a society so devoted to its gods that it accepted death as a sacred necessity. It is about fear of cosmic collapse, about power displayed through ritual, and about human lives caught in the machinery of faith and empire. The Aztecs did not see themselves as monsters. They saw themselves as guardians of the sun, protectors of existence itself. Today, as we look back at the ruins of Tenochtitlan beneath modern Mexico City, we are left with difficult questions. How far would any society go if it truly believed the world depended on it? The horror of Aztec sacrifice is not only in the stone temples stained by history, but in the realization that under certain beliefs, ordinary people can accept extraordinary violence as sacred duty. That is what makes the story endure, not just as a tale of the past, but as a reflection on the power of faith, fear, and humanity itself.